BIMO stands for Bioresearch Monitoring and forms part of the FDA's oversight of clinical research. Its focus includes whether research has been conducted appropriately, participants have been protected, and whether the data submitted to the FDA is supported by reliable records. BIMO listings provide visibility into inspection-related outcomes involving clinical investigators, sites, institutional review boards, sponsors, and data-related activities. For sponsors, they can also provide useful context on the types of compliance weaknesses that appear during regulatory inspection. Repeated findings involving protocol deviations, for example, may indicate a need to examine training, monitoring, documentation, or escalation processes. Findings relating to data submission may draw attention to dataset validation and supporting documentation. BIMO oversight extends well beyond the final submission datasets. Inspectors may review informed consent forms, source records, electronic case report form entries, dosing information, protocol deviations, adverse event reporting, and other documentation supporting the clinical record. The underlying question is whether those records support the data and conclusions submitted for regulatory review. This responsibility does not sit with clinical sites alone. Sponsors and CROs also need appropriate monitoring, controlled data management processes, complete documentation, and suitable submission materials. Consider a repeated pattern of late adverse event entries across several sites. Individual entries may originate at the site level, but if the sponsor's review processes fail to identify a wider pattern, the issue may raise broader questions about oversight. Inspection readiness becomes more difficult when these activities are left until submission. Some documentation gaps can be addressed retrospectively, but others cannot be properly reconstructed after the event. Missing source documentation or delayed safety reporting involves more than tidying a data set. Inspection readiness is stronger when it is built into study conduct. Timely data entry, documented decisions, controlled versioning, clear query handling, and regular review of higher risk areas all contribute to records that can be followed later. Sponsors can also test whether important records are complete and retrievable. A mock inspection can help teams practice retrieving documents, explaining data changes, and showing how issues were identified and resolved. The BIMO Data Reviewer's Guide also supports this process by helping reviewers understand how submitted data was prepared and documented. Where variables have been derived, mapped, excluded, or handled in a particular way, the supporting explanation needs to be clear enough for an external reviewer to follow. Technology can support these activities through electronic data capture systems, electronic trial master files, audit tools, and data analytics. Their value still depends on validated systems, defined workflows, trained users, and appropriate oversight. An audit trail has limited value if unusual changes are never reviewed or understood. BIMO readiness is also cross-functional. Clinical operations, data management, statistical programming, pharmacovigilance, quality teams, and external vendors may all contribute to the same data pathway. A failure during collection, reconciliation, mapping, review, or documentation can affect the evidence available at submission. To learn how Quanticate can support your next trial, email enquiries@quanticate.com or request a consultation through our website. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more practical insights on clinical trials and modern drug development.